Good morning. I'm Dr. Bonnie Yarbrough. I'm a new Coleman Fellow this year and am just learning my way around changes and how to incorporate entrepreneurship into a course I've been teaching for about 10 years, which is called Writing in the Professions. Now it's called Writing for Professionals and Entrepreneurs. So I've made some revisions to the course, which I'd like to talk to you about. When Diane Welsh first approached me about being a Coleman Fellow, I had some concerns about how to do it, of course, and what that would mean to my course. I didn't at first see how I could weave it in to what the course had currently been. But after talking with her about some of the strategies and things that were available for changing assignments and being open to those revisions, I realized that a lot of the skills for students in the typical workplace, a professional workplace, were the same as for entrepreneurs, and that they were problem-solving skills, and that they needed innovation and creativity. So I guess you could say the course is in an experimental stage, since this is my first semester teaching it. Apart from revising the course, I attended the Summit Conference in Chicago with the new fellows and the associate and director of the Coleman Foundation, and I've just returned from the Small Business Institute Conference in New Orleans with some other colleagues who also attended. As we know, writing a paper is probably the most hated assignment that students have at college, but it's also one of the most useful assignments that they produce and most beneficial to them as professionals. As most of the research shows, that's the number one, communication skills is the number one quality that employers look for in new hires. So they come to me with anticipation of being able to embrace the job market and being able to produce things that will help make them look attractive on the job market. Taking a course in writing across the professions or writing for professionals and entrepreneurs will at least strengthen their case when trying to demonstrate their writing skills on a resume. It's not always an easy thing to do. So let me tell you a little bit about the course. It's now cross-listed in the entrepreneurship program, and I do want to emphasize that it's a writing course. It's also writing intensive, which means at UNCG you must produce 20 to 25 pages of prose. You move through stages of multiple drafts and also engage in what we call the peer review process. So the assignments are typical for the professional workplace, and they address professional scenarios in business, industry, technical professions, and now entrepreneurial contexts. We emphasize problem-solving skills and these learning objectives. These are the ones that have to do with entrepreneurship. There are some others as well, but I'll just read you identify communication skills for professional and entrepreneurial careers, apply successful communication strategies to entrepreneurial situations, simulate professional and entrepreneurial experience by writing for specific audiences, and that's perhaps the most important one. Best way the course is in terms of the assignments, I think. And the first one emphasizes creativity, where they produce a website for a business that does not exist. So envisioning the company or the organization is the first part of the assignment. They write a narrative for that tab on most websites that you've seen called About Us, and they construct a web page that describes in detail the mission, objectives, product, and services of that company or organization. The second assignment I'd like to talk about is the product design. And this is an original product that they create and design to present. It cannot be a product that currently exists. It can be one that's simple. It can be one that's complex, but it does have to be an original product, and it needs to be one that has interesting features enough that they can talk about and create a presentation to sell that product. It can be a product that reaches a wide range of the general population, or that it targets a specific niche market. The next step in the product design is to write the script. They do a podcast that's about 350 words, but it has to be able to be delivered in 2 minutes, which is the competition in class. And some of you may be familiar with the national competition called 2 Minutes to Win It, and that's what this is. So in 2 minutes, they present to us, the class, which is a group of venture capitalists, and we will select one product in which to invest. So it's very competitive and very fun assignment. They really get into it. The most complex assignment they have will now be an option between, it's called Project Imagine, and in the past they've done a proposal, a grant proposal. But this time they'll be able to do a business model, and that's the second option for them. It's by far the most complex assignment that we do, and they have plenty of time to complete it, but there are a number of questions that they have to ask at the outset of the project in order to solve precisely what the problem or the issue or the idea is, why did it occur, what the genesis of the idea is, what the significance of the problem or issue or idea is, what risks or opportunities are in play, what should be done or could be done to resolve the problem, what are the consequences of following or not following the recommendations, and what is the specific action needed. The actual proposal itself or the business model will have to do these things. What do you propose to do? Where do you propose to do it? Why should others consider this a priority? Then they must provide a brief narrative or story that illustrates the need for the project. Identify the stakeholders, what kind of resources they need to carry out the project and where they can get them, what barriers that might arise that would limit the project and how do they plan to address them, and finally describe a scenario that illustrates the positive outcomes that would result from the project. So that's the plan, and if the past is prologue at all, I'm looking forward to some innovative and creative solutions to some very challenging and interesting problems. So we'll just see what we get. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your support to the Komen Foundation.